Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Shadow Archive, the place where we follow the things that keep us up at night. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Zoey. We're twins, which means we've spent our whole lives wondering if we're seeing the same weird stuff, or if we're just sharing a very specific and very creepy brain glitch.
We've got some legendary stuff from Reddit and ghoststories.sg to get through. Honestly, I'm very excited to get reading.
So let's get into the archive.
Okay, so for the very first entry of our archive, I'm gonna start simple with a not very scary story from Reddit. So this is from the Reddit trend /Singapore. Nothing very scary. The story is by this person called Really Funny. So this is the story. My primary school was organized around a parade square. To the west was the main school block, to the north was the school hall. The school field lay to the east, and the public roads channeled students, teachers and parents into the parade square from the south. When I was in primary 2, a schoolmate passed away in a traffic accident. She had been playing in the parade square in the evening, and one of the school buses had driven just a little too fast. It took the school cleaners more than 2 days before they could fully flush the blood spatters away from the parade square. Capiche, bro. Imagine you see that in primary school, bro. Nightmare!
Yeah, if that happens in school now, TikTok!
Yes, yeah. Freaking hell. Okay, anyways, back to the story. I recall the atmosphere at school being muted for a while after the tragedy. School assemblies were toned down, festivities were kept to a minimum, and every bright orange cones would go up in the parade square in the evening to remind us of where we could queue up for our buses and where was off limits. Okay, at least the school is doing things to
after that massive fuck up. So they didn't get sued, bro.
Okay, there was a day when the principal shared with us over the morning assembly that he had received a call from a concerned parent who claimed that, quote-unquote, the children are playing in the parade square again. Apparently, the parent had almost hit a girl who was skipping across the parade square, but had fortunately swerved away in time. As you can imagine, the school doubled down on the reminders for us to observe road traffic safety. Even more stringent procedures were put into place. We were to queue up within the school hall, and the teacher would have to be present to guide us up to our respective buses. PE classes were banned entirely from the parade square in an effort to drive home the point that the parade square was strictly off limits. But the complaints didn't stop. Rumours went that the school kept receiving complaints of children running around the parade square. The calls and letters came infrequently, perhaps once or twice a semester, but come they did. I suppose in the modern world security cameras would have been installed fairly quickly, but in those days, the teachers simply took turns keeping watch over the parade square. That never stopped the complaints though. The school was eventually torn down when wide-ranging renovations took place. I visited the new campus a number of years later and managed to catch up with some of the teachers who had stayed on. One of them shared an interesting nugget.
Sorry. I like nuggets.
Shut the hell up, bro. Nothing to do with their story. Okay, anyways. Apparently, in the midst of tearing up the weathered tiles of the parade square, the contractors found a single skeletal finger. If the stories are to be believed, the finger bone belonged to the schoolmate who had met her end under the wheels of the school bus. Torn apart from her point of impact, it had somehow lodged itself between the tiles, away from prying eyes. As far as I'm aware, there are no complaints of school children running where they should not be in the new campus. Things were finally at peace. That was the first story.
So basically they just went there because they never realized the skeletal finger is that's why all this fucking shit happened.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, this story was 7 years ago. If you put into account that it's 7 years ago, right? Primary school I think now should be same, right? Like primary, secondary school. There's gaps in between one. So if like really heng suay lah.
No, but it never says is I don't know about other schools lah, but at least for our school, fucking like primary school is not even outside. How the bus want to drive all the way into like the general office will be there ma.
Yeah.
Like the drop off point and whatever where the cars and buses can go through is at the geo at the general office there. Then you pass that area already, then you reach the parade square ma. So either way, unless I don't know the school built fucking weirdly, then yeah lah. Now I don't think we have this problem lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the school will be fucking sued if you happen this current time.
But yeah, that was the first story. It's not scary lah. It's just a
Yeah.
little, okay,
It's
that's
like,
not ending you would think.
Yeah.
And initially while researching for stories and I found this story, I just initially thought like, okay lah, maybe the fella just unlucky lah, you know, just kena then maybe the school got bad juju.
Don't fucking use that word. I said fucking Jen Apata. Fucking
maybe the school got bad juju then after that like, you know. But yeah, debunked I guess. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it could have very well happened in that time period lah. But
Yeah.
current time period, I doubt it will happen lah.
Yeah, I mean with the author saying that there was no CCTV, you can tell this has been like
Fucking old.
probably like 90s or some shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
So-
CCTV was introduced quite early.
Yeah, I know no history lesson lah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first story. Pretty okay, I guess not scary at all. So yeah.
Well, now my first story I'm going to read, this is kind of stupid now.
Why? Is it in a bad way or what? The fuck?
I mean, it's not bad as in the way it's written lah, but it's like it's something that's so avoidable.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's the author stupid lah.
And it's not actually, it's the author's friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the story. Who is it written by and everything?
So the trend I found it from is from Reddit, because we're still on Reddit. The trend I found it from is from Ghost Stories, r/Ghost Stories, written by Jean's Midnight Cafe. The title for this story written by Jean's Midnight Cafe is Don't Step on the Offerings. So this happened to my friend Fawn during a trip to Bali, Indonesia, with her international friends. Most people in Bali are Hindu, and it's common to see small offerings placed on the ground. There are these little woven trays filled with flowers, rice, or food. I think they're called kanang sari, and are meant to honor spirits. One afternoon, as Fawn and her group were walking to dinner, her friend Sam accidentally stepped on one of these said offerings. Fawn, being Thai, realized that this was a big deal. She told Sam to apologize, but her Western friends just laughed it off. Sam shrugged, saying, "It's just trash on the floor." Fawn then apologized to the spirits out loud, hoping they would forgive the ignorance. That night, they went out drinking. Everyone was tipsy when they left the restaurant. Fawn's boyfriend, who was also drunk, stepped on another offering.
Oh my god.
The others teased him, saying, "Oh, be careful, ghosts will come for him." Fawn was already uncomfortable and told them to stop, but he only made it worse. "Oh, these are for ghosts?" he said, laughing. "Then let them come." He started stomping on every offering he saw. The group thought it was hilarious, but Fawn was terrified. Again, she whispered an apology into the night.
The poor girl, bro, we have left, yeah. What the fuck? Wow, lane, cannot.
Later, they all returned to their villa. Everyone showered and went to bed. Fawn fell asleep quickly, but woke up to a strange scratching sound. When she turned on her lamp, her boyfriend was gone. She noticed that the constant scratching came from the wardrobe.
The
She
boyfriend's
opened
like,
it and froze. Her boyfriend, a 6'1" man, was cramped inside.
nah, knew it.
His neck tilted at a painful angle, scraping at the wooden walls with his nails. His eyes were shut tight, like he was still asleep. Fawn shook him awake, shouting his name. He gasped, eyes wide, and then, bro wet himself. Completely confused, he said he'd been dreaming about a woman with no eyes chasing him.
Oh god.
But he had no idea how he ended up in the wardrobe. Fawn helped him to the bathroom and told him that they'll talk about it in the morning. The next day, everyone gathered for breakfast, except Sam,
Who's Sam again?
the fucking dumbass that stepped on every single
Oh,
offering.
okay,
Yeah, the
yeah.
fucking dumbass. Fawn's boyfriend recounted his nightmare about the woman with hollow eye sockets trying to attack him. He ran and ran until he opened the door, hoping that it would be an exit, but turns out it was a dead end, and that's when he woke up. Fawn was convinced it was a punishment for disrespecting the offerings.
Mm-hmm.
When Sam didn't show up, they went to check his room. He was burning with fever. Between heavy breaths, he said he had seen a woman in a traditional Balinese costume standing outside his window. She had messy hair, blank eyes, and was staring right at him outside the windows. At first, he thought it was a drunk local and closed the curtains. But later, he woke to find her inside the room dancing.
Okay.
Her arms and legs bent at strange angles,
Oh golly.
wrists flickering unnaturally, eyes rolling as she performed what looked like a legong dance.
What now?
I don't know how you pronounce this, I'm so sorry. The author basically says here that you can search it up. Legong dance or Balinese dance. Then apparently the dance is pretty intimidating.
Huh.
Yeah. So Fawn immediately called their local tour guide. And when he heard what happened, he was furious. Because he said it's taboo. People should never touch the offerings. Not even by accident. Locals take it seriously. Even if there were no ghosts, the villagers themselves would attack you for disrespecting the ritual. The guide took them straight to a temple, where holy water was poured over them as a cleansing ritual to wash away whatever had followed them. After that, everything went back to normal. Fawn's boyfriend and Sam recovered, and they all returned home safely. So yeah, if you ever go to Bali or any other place, be respectful. Those little offerings on the road, they are not decorations. Yeah, and that's the end for this one.
Okay, I get what you mean lah when you say like
It's fucking
can
avoidable.
Can be
lah,
avoidable
yeah.
lah.
It's fucking avoidable.
A bunch of morons just disrespecting culture. God damn it.
Like the first time you step on it already, you're like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Then like, okay.
The first time is accident, so it's like
Yeah.
you just apologize
So second time is like, starts fucking stepping on every single
on
offering.
purpose some more. What
Are you stupid?
Bro, I smack you to the other side of oblivion, yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
Freaking rude little shit, eh.
So honestly, I think this offering thing stands true for all Asian countries.
Yeah.
Lah. Singapore also.
They're called offerings for a
Yeah.
reason. They're meant for the dead.
Yeah.
For the deceased.
For our good bros.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't mess with it lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean the people that clear up all these things, also the cleaners, all these also.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have their ways to prevent themselves from getting harmed from all these things also lah. But yeah, if you're not in that job scope of clearing the mess
Don't touch it.
or stuff that we offer for our good bros, then just don't accidentally or don't purposely actually. Accidentally is fine, just apologize. Apologize right then.
Yeah, right then explain yourself lah,
Yeah.
so that you don't get in trouble. And of course, this kind of thing, right, if you never, you didn't realize that you walk away already, right, the first thing you do before you go home, right, is to freaking wash your leg, wash your hand, wash your face. Everything wash, then you go in.
Cleanse yourself.
Yeah, cleanse yourself.
Yeah.
You know, don't go in your house, bro.
If you still kena, then you just wait lah. That one I cannot help you already.
Just be careful where you walk, lah, eh?
Yeah.
See, simple terms.
Especially if it's close to 7 months.
Or 7 months
Yeah.
itself also.
Yeah. Just be careful.
Actually, doesn't matter whether like, they're everywhere lah.
Yeah,
So
they're
just don't
everywhere.
hit kana lah, eh? This one really asking for it. A freaking bunch of morons. If I the girlfriend, right, then I open the wardrobe to see my boyfriend like squeezing like that, then down there like saying on, right, bro, I tell you, I fucking right then and there call like the feng shui, not feng shui, bro, the master already, bro.
The sufu.
Yeah, I call the sufu right then and there, bro. Like if you know already, and there was signs, bro.
Honestly, the moment the like if my boyfriend start doing shit like this, like the one where he step on it. The step on it okay. After that he like thinks it's a joke, then alright, well bye. I break up with you, bro.
Immediately
Just
breaking up.
bye.
We don't.
I don't need an idiot.
Don't fuck with supernatural shit, bro. No way. You're asking for it, serious.
Yeah.
Okay, but
So,
yeah.
don't be like the idiots in this story.
Yeah,
be
don't
like
be-
Fawn, be like Fawn.
Be that fun, yeah.
Yeah, our writer be like them.
But yeah, it's very. They're two very different stories, lah.
Yeah.
Two very different stories.
The first one is not avoidable because
Yeah.
you can't do anything when you don't even know the skeleton finger is
Yeah.
skeletal finger is
finger,
there. But this
yeah.
one is offering you can siam one you can
Yeah.
siam. Yeah.
So okay, I mean it's nice to know lah, like that we found two very different stories. Yeah, those were the first two, I guess.
This one also more recent. This one was 3 months ago.
They're freaking like what is this now, like 9 years ago, 7 years
Yeah.
ago, some shit.
Old lah, old as
Yeah,
well.
the stories I found were pretty old, including this next story which I'm about to read to you guys. This story is 10 years ago, also on the Reddit trend by the Reddit trend just Singapore. It just r/Singapore. So this is by Shanda. This one is a army story because obviously if we talk about Singapore ghost story, army is the number one place for ghost story lah. Cause
Tekong things.
yeah lah. And obviously because we are not men, we don't have army/BMT/training stories. So yeah, clearly.
You will enjoy those from people on Reddit.
Yeah. So okay, this story is, I think there's a lot of very like similar stories with the one that I'm about to read to you guys. But this one is, I guess, the most simpler ones lah. Because there's two stories that I'm gonna read today that has some sort of a similar plot, but this one is the less scary one. Okay, so the story by Shanda. BMT is a motherlode of paranormal stories. Someone should compile them into a book. Here's mine. Our coil was infamous for a bunch of idiots that resulted in us having 3 standby universe within the span of a month. Coming down from the very top, CO, not OC, caught recruit smoking in a stairwell, where he got tekan seriously for any dirt anyway. So the week after the second one, word came down that there was another standby universe coming down. So every bunk made extremely frantic efforts to clean everything, including pulling out all the cupboards to clean behind them. So one unfortunate group from Platoon 4, located on the top floor, pulled out their cupboards to clean the back, and found that some of the cupboards had yellow talismans stuck at the back of them.
Oh, great.
They apparently debated whether or not it was wise to take them out, but decided that the fear of the paranormal was nothing compared to the fear of their platoon sergeant. So, the talismans were dumped in the communal bin.
This is so stupid. I'm more scared of the fucking talisman than my sergeant.
Yeah, same.
Then again, I probably only say that because I've never been in army.
never been in army,
but
yeah.
like, if right now you're telling me, I'm like, bro, fucking, I'll take the talisman and fucking stick all over my bed, bro.
No, the talismans are at the back of the locker. So that means you're gonna take out the talisman.
The moment I fucking see the talisman, I know we are screwed, bro.
There's talismans there for a reason lah. Then you, even if let's say you first time go into Tekong or some shit, you know how many ghost stories are there, wouldn't you like just leave the talismans? You know what I mean?
Unless you fucking live under a rock lah, then you don't know lah.
Okay, but yeah, so they found talismans and decided to throw it away like freaking idiots. But okay, never mind. Okay, so anyways, continuing the story. That night, there were really, really loud banging sounds coming from the bunk. Not only woke up the people in that bunk, but people from the neighbouring bunks as well. People on the other floors, and hell, even the duty sergeant on the ground floor came to check it out. None of them dared to open the cupboards that night. The next day, they emptied out the communal trash can, dug out the talismans, then stuck them back on the cupboards. Their PS noticed the trash all over the floor as they were digging it out, came over to fuck them, saw that they were holding talismans, shut his mouth, and walked right away as though he didn't see anything. Stories circulated, and we all pretty much agreed never to fuck with paranormal shit, my god, even if we didn't believe in it. On a lighter note, my bunk managed to give our PS a heart attack because we had a standing laundry dryer in the middle of our bunk and someone hung up a full uniform in the set. Uniform set in the middle of the night. PS did night patrol, looked through the window, saw a uniform just hovering there in the middle of the room. He gave our bunk 50 push-ups the next morning for that. Okay, but yeah, that's
on a nice note, I guess.
super story lah. But yeah.
Once again, something that's avoidable.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe it's because of the pressure of like your sergeant lah, then they scared, so they just
Nah, bro. If I'm the fucking what's called that, the soldier. What do men call themselves? NS men, I don't know, bro.
Cadets.
I don't, baby. You like if you're the cadet, if I'm the cadet inside, right, and then like I start cleaning my stuff, and then I see a talisman behind my locker, right. I will clean everything, but make sure the talisman stays there. So if everybody else gets screwed, at least I survive.
Fucked up, eh. But bros before hoes, man.
Actually, okay lah. Unless you, I know, like if your sergeant also, like you tell your sergeant that you found a talisman, so like you being careful, you avoid the area so you don't like mess up the talisman. Then okay lah. Like if I'm the sergeant also, I will okay. Because if you mess up the talisman, then if you basically destroy the protection you have, so,
yeah lah.
Yeah, but I mean I don't know if every single person will think that way lah. But yeah.
Not so scary.
Yeah, not so scary. It's not funny lah.
The ending is funny as shit.
Yeah, funny, yeah,
They scared their platoon sergeant. But you can imagine that though. Imagine just walking past, you just see the freaking hanger down there hovering.
Okay lah, at least it didn't seem like a very stereotypical BMT story lah. Mine is another Reddit. All my stories I'm reading like today is all from Reddit because I'm a chronic user of RSS No Sleep. But this second story is not from there. It's from r/ghost stories again, the same trend as earlier. The user is top-rip7312. The title is True Philippine Ghost Story. So this is the story. This story was my mom's. She passed away in 2021, but this is the creepiest story she told us. It was around late 1990s when my mom became friends with a neighbor that owns a small grocery store in our town. Not sure how my mom became close with her, but based on what I know, the husband of the owner, who was a police officer, cheated on her.
Oh god.
And they were having a rough time. My mom comforted this lady a lot, to the point that they became best friends.
Unfortunately, my family had to move to a different city, and since this was the late 1990s, there was no social media yet. My mom and her best friend lost touch with each other. A couple of months went by, and it was shown on the local news that the grocery owner took her husband's life by banging him in the head while he was sleeping.
Shooty, bang, bang.
Yeah, and then she banged herself also.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Yeah. One night, my father wasn't home, and my siblings and I were sleeping with mom. My mom had a dream, and in her dream, she was walking home with the grocery owner in the long, dark road. In her dream, my mom asked her, "Why are you walking this way? We live the other way." Her friend replied, "I'm dead. I'm just looking for you."
Why? The mom never do anything wrong, what?
My mom ran away as fast as she could, and when she reached the house in the dream, she woke up. Now, this is an important detail. The floor on the second floor of the house is made of bamboo strips, and between the gaps of the bamboo strip, you can see the floor below.
Oh god.
A house like this was common back in the 90s to lessen heat inside the house as we live in a tropical country. Yeah, because they are in Philippines, and Philippines hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Relieved that it was only a dream, she stood up and was thinking of going to the bathroom downstairs when she saw someone below,
Oh god.
between the gaps of the bamboo floor.
Oh my god. Hell
It was
no.
looking up at her, like it wants to know that ghost was downstairs. Like it followed her. My mom was so afraid that instead of going to the ground floor, she pissed in a cup of coffee instead. Funny as fuck, but true. A couple of years after that, a family who apparently doesn't believe in ghosts moved into the house of the grocery store owner and the police officer. The neighbors told them that a crime was committed in that house, but they didn't care. They were Mormons, I believe. One afternoon, the kid of the people who moved in that house was watching anime in the living room.
Great.
And the kid heard someone clearing his throat in the bedroom. When the kid looked at the bedroom, he saw a guy sitting on the bed asking him, "What are you doing in our house?"
Oh.
The family moved out in just a week.
Won't liao, don't listen. See lah.
Years after, a tricycle driver, the tuk-tuk in Thailand, happened to pass by the house of the grocery store owner around 3 a.m. Wait, which hour? According to the driver, he saw a woman waving her hand, calling his attention like she needed a ride. He decided to go back because he thought that the lady was a passenger. The lady vanished, like smoke, when he finally came near her, and this scared the shit out of the tricycle driver.
Confirm, bro.
He only learned of the story of the house in the morning when he told the neighbors what he saw. Until now, no one has lived in that house.
But what I don't get is why the grocery the mother, not mother, the grocery
The
lady want to like horn the mother. She never do anything wrong, what?
I don't think it's like horn the mother because she do something wrong. I just want to come see her.
Yeah, but she leading her to the dark side, bro. Isn't it like trying to take her to the dark
Maybe, I
side?
don't know lah, but that's why it's like she just want to see her friend one last time. Yeah, but I don't know why she did it in such a scary way lah.
Yeah, she literally freaking said, "I'm dead. I just looking for you." See me lan, sia. What the hell? Bring her to the dark side, bro. Someone you're telling unless it's something that is mimicking the friend,
Maybe yeah.
then maybe it's that.
That was just scarier though.
Like if something took over lah, then I guess it makes sense that you bring her to the dark side. As I said earlier, I'm going to go back to the locker story. This is a different locker story, but it's also about lockers. Also in camp. The story is called The Haunted Locker of Kit Hong Camp. Yeah, that's the story.
Really Kiat Hong.
Kiat Hong Kit.
Kiat Hong came on,
I don't know lah, what the fuck. Oh, Kiat Hong Camp. Okay, but yeah, this is the story. Yeah. The oppressive humidity of our typical August evening in Singapore clung to the skin like a damp cloth. Recruit Jason Tan, fresh out of Polytechnic, had just begun his national service at the Kiat Hong Army Camp. Despite the modern updates to the camp facilities, certain areas still retained an unsettling eerie atmosphere. Among the recruits, Kiat Hong Camp was notorious, not just for its tough training, but also for the strange tales that circulated within the camp. Tan was assigned to Platoon 3, and his section was housed in one of the older bunks, a relic from years gone by. The bunks were arranged in 2 neat rows, with each recruit allotted a locker beside their bed to store their belongings. Yet, there was one locker in the furthest corner that everyone seemed to avoid. The metal was corroded, and the hinges were barely functional, making it nearly impossible to open or close without a struggle. It let out a high-pitched shriek whenever someone tried to pry it open, a sound that echoed through the room, sending a shiver down the spine to anyone who heard it. From the moment Tan entered the bunks,
He felt there was something peculiar about this locker, as if it's harbored a presence on its own. His section commander quickly noticed him eyeing it and warned, "Best leave that locker alone, Tan. It's been like that for as long as anyone can remember. No one uses it, and it's better that way." Like many new recruits, Tan was somewhat superstitious. He'd heard stories of haunted army camps, of ghostly apparitions and inexplicable events, but he had not paid any much attention to them, until now. There was something deeply unsettling about the locker that made him steer clear of it. For the first few weeks, life in the camp followed the routine. Tan spending days in training, returning to the barracks each night exhausted. But as time went on, strange things began to happen. Late one night, as Tan lay in his bunk trying to sleep, he heard a faint creaking noise coming from the corner of the room. Initially, he dismissed it as an old building setting, but the sound grew louder, a metallic groan followed by a soft click. Tan's heart began to race as he realized the noise was coming from the old locker. He sat up in bed, staring at it in the dim light. The door was slightly ajar, swaying gently as if nudged by an unseen hand. There was no breeze, no draft that could have caused it to open. Yet there it was, moving ever so slightly, as though something or someone was trying to open it from within.
GG.com.
But it wasn't just the creaking door that sent a chill down Tan's spine. The next morning, as he walked past the locker, something inside caught his eye. Peering closer, he saw what looked like long strands of hair,
Fuck that. Yeah.
dark and shiny, coiled at the bottom of the locker.
Fuck that.
His blood ran cold. None of the recruits had hair that long.
Yeah, no shit. They all have no hair, man.
Hey, COVID or something. Everyone had undergone the mandatory buzz cut when they first arrived. Word spread quickly throughout the platoon. Some recruits were terrified, refusing to go near the locker. Obviously, I wouldn't either.
Understandable.
The fuck. Others tried to dismiss it as a joke, though their nervous laughter betrayed their fear. The mystery deepened when the locker, despite being left untouched, would sometimes open on its own, creaking loudly as if something inside was desperate to escape. One night, Tan decided to stay up and keep watch. He needed answers. The barracks were silent, save for the occasional snores of sleeping recruits. Tan's eyes were fixed on the locker, his pulse quickening with every passing minute. At precisely 3 a.m., the locker door began to move. Tan's heart pounded in his chest. The door creaked open slowly, and as it did, a shadowy figure started to materialize in the corner of the room. It was faint at first, almost translucent, but gradually it became more distinct. A figure of a woman, her long hair scaling down her shoulders, obscuring her face. I would fucking zao already, bro, but I fucking...
I see the fucking hair, I'm gone already, bro. Don't even wait for the full lady to appear, Tibai. I see the long strand of hair inside the locker. I am gone, bro. I am gone. No need to wait for the apparition. 不用不用我走了 bye bye. Good luck, brother. Bye.
Tan wanted to scream to alert the others, but he was frozen in place. The figure drifted towards the locker, movements slow and deliberate. She reached inside, her ghostly fingers brushing against the strands of hair.
Her own hair or like the hair she left in the locker?
I think the hair she left in the locker. The figure lingered for a moment longer before fading away, leaving Tan trembling in his bunk. The next day, Tan couldn't shake the image of the ghostly woman from his mind, and the sight of her shadowy figure replayed every time he closed his eyes. The unease got at him, making it impossible to focus during training. The other recruits noticed his distraction, but no one dared to ask about it. Everyone knew that locker was a topic best left undisturbed. Despite their silence, Tan needed answers. This freaking idiot. Like
You don't need answers, bro. You need to get the fuck out of there.
the freaking hair already 不够. You see the apparition still 不够. Still want to investigate. Bolo king sia.
I out of there already, sia. Broski.
I just leave it alone,
你还要
sia.
try 啊 你
That's
还要
why.
try 啊 I'm gone, bro. Stupidity 101.
Over the following days, he discreetly began asking around, hoping to piece together the history behind the mysterious locker. Most of the recruits shrugged off his questions, some offering vague rumours while others warned him to drop the subject.
Yeah.
It wasn't until a week later that Tan's curiosity drew the attention of the company sergeant major, a grizzled veteran who had seen countless batches of recruits come and go. One evening, after lights out, the CSM caught Tan's eye and subtly gestured for him to step outside the barracks. It wasn't unusual for the CSM to take a smoke break after the day's drills, but this time, there was something different about him, a different air about him, an unspoken invitation that Tan couldn't refuse. The two of them quietly made their way to a yellow box near a dimly lit corridor, the thick, humid night pressing down on them like a heavy blanket. The air was dense, the stillness broken only by the distant hum of insects and the occasional rustle of leaves. As they stood there, the CSM reached into his pocket and pulled out a cigarette. Lighting with a practiced flick of his light, the flame briefly illuminated his weathered face. casting deep shadows that seemed to etch the years of his service into sharp relief. His eyes, dark and penetrating, held a depth of understanding that went beyond the usual concerns of military life. There was something more, something unspoken that Tan could sense. The CSM took a long drag, the tip of the cigarette glowing red in the darkness. He exhaled slowly, the smoke curling lazily in the humid air before dissipating into the night. Then, without turning to face Tan directly, he leaned in just slightly, his voice dropping to a near whisper. It was as if he feared that even the night itself might be listening, and the very shadows could betray their conversation to an unseen presence. There's a story about that locker, the CSM began, his tone serious and measured. This place has seen more than just drills and training over the years. A long time ago, there was a recruit here, young, full of hope, like all of you when you first arrived. He was engaged to be married. His fiancée was the love of his life, and she was devoted to him. Every weekend, without fail, she would travel all the way here to wait for him outside the camp gates. The other recruits would often see her standing there, rain or shine, always with the same gentle smile, waiting for him to book out. The CSM paused, his gaze distant as if recalling memories that stretched far beyond the mundane routine of military life. It became a familiar sight, her presence at the gates, a small comfort for those who watched from afar, knowing that someone could be so dedicated. But then, one weekend, she didn't show up.
Oh shit.
The recruit went out to find her, expecting her usual spot by the gates, but she wasn't there. Days turned into weeks, and still, she didn't return.
Did she die?
No one knew what happened to her. Tan listened intently, his mind racing with questions. He could almost picture the scene in his head, the anxious recruit searching for the woman he loved, the growing worry that got at him with each passing day.
I mean, every day she shot and suddenly poof, disappear.
Suddenly disappear.
Yeah, so no wonder.
Yeah. People say the recruit was never the same after that, the CSM continued, his voice tinged with a hint of melancholy. He was a shadow of the man he once was. The love and joy that once filled him seemed drained away, replaced with deep emptiness. He started withdrawing from his fellow recruits, becoming increasingly obsessed with finding out what had happened to his fiancée. He wrote letters, made calls, and even took leave to search for her, but all his efforts came out empty.
It's just sad though, low-key.
The CSM's voice took on a darker, more sombre tone as he reached the heart of the story. One night, after months of silence from her, they found him dead in that very corner where the locker now stands.
The guy.
Yeah. The official report chalked it up to a training mishap, something about an accidental fall, but those who knew him had their doubts. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said she wanted to break off the engagement and he couldn't handle the idea of living without her, so he took his own life in despair. Others whispered that something far more sinister had occurred. Perhaps he couldn't accept losing her, and in the moment of madness, took her life. They say the guilt became unbearable, and in the end, he saw no way out but to follow her into the void. The CSM's eyes were fixed on the ground as he spoke, his voice barely above the murmur, as if reluctant to give life to the story's chilling conclusion. When they found his body, there were strands of long, dark hair clutched tightly in his hand. Hair that didn't belong to any of the recruits. No one could explain it. Every man in that camp had the same standard buzz cut. Where did it come from? Some said it was hers. The last remnant of a lost love, or perhaps a haunting reminder of a life taken in rage. Tan's skin prickled as the CSM recounted the tale, each word sinking deeper into the pit of his stomach. He couldn't shake the image of the ghostly woman who had appeared in his barracks, the way her long hair dripped over her obscured face. Could it be her hair that the recruit had held on to his final moments, a last desperate grasp at the love he'd lost or betrayed? The CSM's voice grew softer, almost as if he was sharing a secret with the night itself. Ever since then, strange things have been happening in that corner. Some recruits claim they hear whisper at night, soft, mournful, like someone searching for what they've lost. Others swear they've seen a shadowy figure standing by the locker, drifting slowly as if waiting for someone who never comes. And every now and then, when the lights are out, the locker creaks open on its own, as if something or someone is trying to search for something inside. Tan shivered, the cool night air suddenly feeling far more oppressive. The night was no longer just a tragic tale passed around to look spook recruits. It felt like the key to the inexplicable events that plagued his nights. The ghostly woman wasn't a figment of the imagination. She was tied to a very tragedy that had unfolded in that cursed corner of the barracks. Her presence wasn't random. It was a link to something that had gone horribly wrong. An unresolved chapter that continued to haunt those who dared to dwell near her resting place. The CSM placed a firm hand on Tan's shoulder, grounding him back to reality. The weight of the touch brought Tan back from the edge of the unknown, reminding him that he was still part of the living world. You're not the first to ask about this, and you won't be the last, the CSM said, his voice carrying both warning and understanding. But remember this, some things are better left alone. Whatever happened between those two, whatever binds her to that locker, it's not something we're meant to understand or change. It's best to keep your distance and let her be. She's searching for something or someone, but it's not for us to meddle.
So in the end, what really happened to her, you still don't really know lah. Because like the,
Yeah,
like the
it's-
sergeant say, don't go and
Yeah, don't go and
fucking
dig
dig
lah.
like that. Yeah. But honestly, looking at the way this character is, I feel like if there was a continuation to this, he probably went to dig some more lah. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Just, yeah.
But honestly, after hearing like the backstory of like the girl and the ex-recruit, right? Would you still even dig through though? Like you hear such a tragic story, you know that even if let's say it's not he murdered her or anything like that, right? You know it's nothing good lah, whatever they turn out to be. Confirm is not
The fact that she's bound here already
yeah.
is already like something that I won't dig further lah. I mean, in the
Yeah.
first place, I won't even hear about any of this fucking shit, bro. The moment I see the fucking strand of hair, bye. I say this 3 times.
I just find it interesting that because the thing that was found, like the whole reason this whole fiasco started is because the recruit like killed himself, committed suicide at the locker there. What? It's not the girl. So how the hell did the girl's hair appear next to him?
Oh, maybe he's like stalker vibes. Then he keep a strand of her hair.
What
in
the
his-
fuck?
I don't know.
But yeah, that's just the thing that to me is
You
like
know where else we get the hair from?
Yeah lah.
From some side chick. Shouldn't be why he seems so dedicated
just dudes
to
with
her.
buzz cuts, bro, in there.
I mean, shouldn't be some side chick also. He seemed very dedicated.
Yeah.
Like he became broken after.
Literally like a hollow person
Yeah.
after his fiance disappeared.
Unless she didn't disappear, unless like what like the CSM say lah,
Yeah.
was that he accidentally killed her in the field of rage or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when emotions overwhelmed him or something.
I kind of doubt that though.
Yeah. If he loved her that much, I doubt something like that would like, you know.
Yeah. All I have to say after the end of this is this Tan character guy fucking stupid. I will not be digging more into this story.
like
this
the
situation.
moment you see the first instance they tell when people tell you and the sergeant tell you don't go near the locker already, you just don't go lah, you just listen lah.
I mean, obviously in my head I'll be like, huh, why?
Yeah lah, but
Yeah.
you still wouldn't.
Will I really act on it? I don't know lah.
Maybe
Yeah.
lah. But even if you don't, if you act on it based on that first one, the moment you see the hair, you won't
Yeah,
fucking
bond. Yeah, but I don't.
zao already, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Cannot fuck with this, bro.
Far away already. I'm probably
Yeah.
out of the camera.
开玩笑 under BMT.
Probably out of the gates, man. Standing outside. Sayonara, bro. And the next one is my last one, and it's from my favorite Reddit trend, r/no sleep. Yay! But this one is based on the way that this thing is written, this trend is written, is telling this account from his sergeant lah. His sergeant tell him and then he just sharing. Yeah, so the writer's username is where the fuck from here, I'm guessing. The title is The Ghost of Southeast Asia, Bouncing Betty. So, Staff Sergeant Gary Lam hanged himself from the 4th floor window of St. Ogilvy General, I'm guessing hospital, but it's not there anyway. Hanged himself from the 4th floor window at
Maybe
St.
I
Ogilvy
thought it was gonna go from 0 to 100. Why suddenly 100 straight away? What the hell?
General on April 15, 2011. It took EMTs 6 minutes to break through the door he jammed shut and cut him down. By then, he had shorn off 6 out of 8 fingernails, digging bloody furrows into his neck. And his face had swollen to the tender consistency and colour of an overripe grape.
He hang himself.
Yeah. Then he was suffocating. Yeah,
Oh, that's why
then
he's
he was
scratching
suffocating
the neck.
scratch, yeah.
Ah, okay.
This was not to mention his tongue, thrust out and nearly severed by an involuntary clenching jaw,
Oh yeah.
or the stains slicking the bottom half of his hospital gown.
Oh god.
You didn't need a medical license to know to start unrolling the body bag. 6 minutes is
So gory, bro.
6 minutes is eternity to a asphyxiating man. But during the time, the rapidly growing crowd in the parking lot was treated to a second horrifying spectacle. As Gary Lam listed to and fro in the wind, a woman, a nurse perhaps, was trying and failing to pull him back into the room. Of course, the only thing she thought to pull on was the rope itself. You know, Gary didn't kill himself, right? Gary was a smaller guy, maybe 130 pounds, soaking wet, and it was undoubtedly a source of his chronic insecurity. Maybe that's why he was also 130 pounds of grade A dickhead. The 38-year-old staff sergeant had a permanent scowl etched into his face
58 kg only, that's very weird.
as he skulked around the base.
and he had his own supernatural ability to conjure busy work from newly inducted servicemen. It was a little surprise to find out that he was no patron saint in his personal life either. His girlfriend, Elena, was a high school sweetheart, who always knew she could do better but never quite found the courage to be single. She listened, sometimes forlornly, sometimes resentfully, as her friends described whirlwind hookups, blush-inducing trysts, and ridiculous, expensive gestures lavished upon them by an unending stream of suitors. Then she watched, as her group of friends eventually distilled the perfect man from the chaos of a single adult life, and settled down for an eternity in paradise. A paradise she had come to realize that she was never going to have. Very little of this was true, of course. Her friends, like normal human beings, had struggles and inadequacies too. The debilitating depression that dominated most of her life simply made the grass appear greener wherever she looked. But it certainly didn't help that Gary had none of the qualities her friends gushed about. From her point of view, it looked like the guy simply stopped putting in an effort the second they became official. No romantic poems, no surprise anniversary gifts. It was a grey, placid coexistence in their 2-bedroom apartment. A blur of waking up, going to work, coming home, and then falling asleep as they bled their lives away. Perhaps it was because she felt she had so little that she sought to hold onto the scraps of her relationship with a vice grip. In the final year of their relationship, she became possessed with fears of her viewed potential infidelity. Whether this manifested in non-stop texts he discreetly tried to answer during ops briefings, or her showing up at the guardhouse to verify he was where he said he was, her resentment turned to obsession remarkably and disturbingly quickly. And she was right. Turns out our Staff Sergeant Gary was much more of a doer than a dreamer. Because Elena came home one night to find him in bed with a 20-something from the club.
Oh golly. Cheater!
Riding and moving with a passion that she had never once experienced in her life.
Wow.
The meltdown was historic. She showed up at the camp the next day in a maelstrom of melodrama, clutching the rusted wrought iron gates as she screamed hellfire. The poor MP on duty had to pry the wiry woman off the gate after trying unsuccessfully to cajole her off her bloody knees. Eventually, swearing revenge at the staff sergeant cowering in his office, she stormed off. That same day, she dressed in all red.
Oh god.
She flung herself out the window of their 8th-story apartment.
Oh fuck.
In a particularly vengeful twist, she tried to time it right as Gary was coming home from work. Fortunately for him, the site was already a blur of sirens and police tape as he arrived. And by then, the grisly broken display was already covered by a tarp. Still, the little detail about her choice of clothing did not escape the staff sergeant.
You tell me red colour already, warning signs already, bro.
See, Elena was a Chinese woman, and the colour red holds special significance in her culture. In fact, red is held to a sacred level in the traditional Chinese culture, to the extent that it is splashed everywhere at every opportunity. Just think of any last Chinese restaurant you've been to. This is no surprise, given that it's often associated with joy, vitality, and energy. All wonderful things to ascribe to a living, breathing person. When it comes to death though, the colour we're looking for is white, representing resolution, peace, and finality. When someone kills themselves while wearing a colour inverting this custom, it is a perversion of sanctity, somewhere on par with hanging the cross upside down. The intention behind it was unmistakable. Elena did not intend to shuffle off this mortal coil quite yet, and she certainly wasn't going to do it alone. This was uniquely terrifying prospect to her already guilt-ridden Gary.
Poor guy.
So much so not his fault, he cheated.
Oh yeah, lah,
And not his fault, it is his fault.
That is his fault.
Yeah, because he cheated.
But like, don't need to do so, you know.
Why'd you cheat?
Like,
So much so that he sought out the help of a Taoist priest the very same day. Taoist priests are renowned for their experience with appeasing or purging the restless undead, and their advice is often treated as a gospel by the afflicted. This priest conferred no moral judgment upon hearing the story, but understood the magnitude of wrath about to be visited on this hopeless man. The spirit, said the medium, would roam the earth for 41 days, if she returned at all. If he was able to evade her for that long, her hold over him would cease, and all would be back to normal. But how would he know she was coming? You hear her jumping.
oh my god.
Jumping? The image of a dead woman hopping around the apartment was equal parts hilarious, horrifying, and comical. Yes, she won't be able to bend over, so hide under something. A bed, for example. She can only look for you for so long before she has to move on. Well, the man had spoken. No point further questioning his advice. Gary left the temple and went home, doubt festering in his mind.
But I just sleep at the temple, bro.
41 days. The next month was spent in a feverish haze of fear, grief, and paranoia. The first sergeant remembers Gary flinching at every noise, wide-eyed and sweaty. He retreated from tormenting the soldiers in his outfit and never wanted to be alone. He spent more and more time on base, surrounded by his co-workers, delaying his inevitable return to the uncharacteristically empty, silent apartment. But he always had to. And while the cleanup crew did their best, not much could be done about the blood already baked into the asphalt by the unceasing summer heat. Gary always tried his best to avoid looking at the large dark stain in the parking lot right in front of the elevator, or the almost negligible splotches of the walls the cleaners missed. He seemed to notice more and more of them each time he passed by. "This one's nasty," he overheard an EMT say. "I've never seen a fall this bad." He was working on a report at home when he heard a terrible crash in his living room, punctuated by a heavy impact that shook the floor. Thud. Did something get knocked over? Thud. Footsteps? No, these were way too loud, too kinetic to be footfalls. He rose to check, but growing suspicion stayed his feet. Thud.
He's still gonna get caught, bro.
He thought he heard several secondary impacts, as whatever was falling crumpled to the ground. Falling. He began to shake as his subconscious finally began connecting the dots. Desperate clues coalescing into one horrifying certainty. You hear her jumping.
I knew it.
Thud. Stealing his breath as much as possible, he got on the ground, shimmied beneath the bed, and squeezed his eyes shut. The bed wasn't raised very far off the ground, and he found himself facing up, with no room to move except to turn his head left and right.
Oh god.
Thud. The bedroom door flung open. Tears flowed freely as he bellowed his fist and clenched his teeth, fighting to control his rapidly hyperventilating breath. Thud. This one landed right beside his ear. Up close. He could hear it all. Blood splintering, flesh tearing from the wet impact. And then, all was quiet.
Don't open your eyes, bro. If you open, you stupid.
Nobody knows how long he stayed there, frozen in place, eyes shut, barely daring to breathe. Terrified as he was, even the adrenaline roaring in his ears wasn't designed to last forever. His pulse eventually slowed, and hope cruelly began to rear its head in his mind. Had she moved on? Was it over? Fearing the worst, he chanced a glance to his left. When the eyes perceive something the brain refuses to acknowledge, time seems to bend. Everyone's gone through it to some degree. A breakup text, a positive diagnosis, a gun barrel in the face. The mind is seized by conflicting impulses. One half screaming for action as the reptilian instincts of self-preservation kick in. The second, trying its utmost to deny reality that has already established a firm, non-negotiable grip. Time flows during this neurological tug-of-war, casting every terrifying detail in stark relief. The first sergeant found him under the bed during a wellness check when he failed to report the next morning. Gary lunged out from his hiding spot, clutching him like a lifesaver, and blubbering out his story in between hitching, gut-wrenching screams. The horror he beheld was enough to have him hospitalized for months. In that time, he attempted suicide thrice. The fourth, well, we already know what happened about that one.
Fuck me.
You see, the priest had been right, but only in principle. Whatever was staring at him on the bed through cloudy, lifeless eyes could never have bent over to leer at him. It was all broken in all the wrong places. If she was jumping around the apartment in that absurd pogo-like fashion he imagined, the staff sergeant would have been entirely, irrefutably safe. The rookie priest just hadn't considered one thing. She landed on her head. That's what you can see because she...
Fuck no, bro. T-bye.
It's not done.
Yeah, but the Taboos priest wouldn't know. Oh, fuck me. Oh, shit.
Wait, you said he didn't kill himself? I mean, he tried 3 times. Barricaded his door and everything. Maybe he just finally figured it out. I shifted uncomfortably against the guardhouse. The first sergeant turned to fix me with a steely look. You can't barricade doors in a mental ward. You think he would have been the first to try that? And the last couple of times I spoke to him, he didn't seem suicidal at all. He was just really didn't want to be alone. I felt the rational part of my brain clicking on overdrive as it fought to deny what the first sergeant was driving at. So you're telling me a ghost simultaneously held the door shut, tied a noose around him, and flung his ass out the window? What about the nurse who tried to save him? I'm saying there's a lot that doesn't add up. The only person who saw the nurse up close was Dr. Chakrabarti, working the next ward over. Not only did the doctor not recognize this woman, he said she was wearing the widest grin he'd ever seen. The sergeant paused, taking a long drag of his cigarette. And he sure as hell doesn't know any nurse that wears red.
Fuck.
And fa-bam! That's the end for this story. Yee!
Wow, 鸡掰 sia. It's like I pity him, but at the same time it's his fault lah.
Basically, in summary, don't cheat. But yeah, when I found the story and then I read it, I was like, fuck. And then the plot is the part where she fucking British landed on her head. The Taoist priest didn't think about that. So it didn't matter. It's that he was right in the fact that she was jumping, like hopping.
But she didn't land like leg first.
It's head
first. That's why under the bed you can see.
Still can see, yeah.
But I mean, the Taoist priest wouldn't know because you need to be like...
Unless the police told the guy...
Yeah, but there's no way to do that. It's confidential information.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he probably still see her body, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, this the last story for today lah. It's not scary. It's just heebie-jeebies. Okay, this last story for today is also by ghoststories.sg. So there's no author name for this, but the title is called The Wake at Punggol Drive. Okay, this is the story. The funeral wake was meant to be a solemn farewell for Mr. Tan, beloved relative who had recently passed away. Known for his kindness and gentle spirit, his passing left a void in the hearts of his family. Following tradition, a wake was held, allowing relatives and friends to gather and pay their final respects. The wake was held in Punggol Drive, a new estate that had just reached its minimum occupation period. Many parts of the area were still underdeveloped, and empty plots, quiet streets, and dimly lit pathways that gave it an eerie, almost desolate feel once the sun went down. The setting was a stark contrast to the bustling, familiar neighborhoods where wakes are often held, making the silence feel even more profound. Dave, a close relative of Mr. Tan, volunteered to keep watch over the coffin during the first night. It was a customary gesture, a way to show respect and ensure that the deceased was not left alone. This vigil has deeper roots in local beliefs. There was a superstition that if a black cat were to jump over the coffin, it could cause the spirit of the deceased to awaken and return. To prevent this, someone had to stay nearby to keep watch throughout the night. Additionally, the person keeping vigil would need to constantly burn offerings to guide the spirit and protect it from harm. So Dave wasn't one to believe easily in the supernatural tales, but he understood the tradition and took his place beside the coffin, tending to the burning incense that glowed in the dark, the soft light cutting through the shadows around him. For the first few hours, nothing unusual happened. Occasionally, a car would pass by on the distant road, and there were faint echoes of footsteps somewhere in the estate, but nothing raised concern. Dave continued to tend to the offerings, making sure the incense was always burning, and the night was peaceful. Until it wasn't. After midnight, the atmosphere began to change. The quietness of the undeveloped estate seemed to amplify every small noise, and soon, Dave noticed something strange. It started as a faint, metallic clicking, like keys being joisted or metal tapping against metal. Dave looked around, puzzled, but found no source for the sound. The silence of the area only made the noise more pronounced. The coffin lay undisturbed under the warm light, and no one else was around. Then, he heard footsteps. Soft, deliberate, as if someone was pacing near the side of the setup, close to where the coffin stood. At one point, Dave caught a distinct scent drifting through the air. A sweet, floral fragrance that reminded him of frangipani. This is a plant, by the way. I don't know if this is how you actually pronounce it, but yeah, frangipani or frangipani. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a plant.
Frangipani, is it?
I don't know. Frangipani, fucking pronounce it.
Frangipani lah, correct lah, the flower lah.
Don't know what the fuck.
It's the flower that comes out whenever the thing that should not be named comes.
But yeah, so he smelled this scent lah of this. What the fuck? How do you read?
Frangipani.
Frangipani, yeah. It was strong and unmistakable, like the scent of flowers often associated with cemeteries and funerals. Dave glanced around, but there was no fresh flowers nearby, just the usual arrangements placed earlier that day. He dismissed it, assuming it was nothing more than lingering scent from the surroundings.
And that's stupid of you.
But I mean, he wouldn't know like, because he also is an underdeveloped place so maybe it's like...
But like, I don't know, the moment you smell flowers, wouldn't you be like obsessed?
No. Like maybe some perfume or something?
At that timing? In a fucking void deck for a week? No way, man.
Okay, well anyways. Feeling slightly unnerved, he tried to convince himself it was just his imagination. Perhaps the somber mood, the scent of burning offerings, and the unsettling quiet of the estate were playing tricks on him. He returned to his chair,
making sure the incense was still burning, and tried to lose himself into his phone once more. But as soon as he sat back down, the sounds returned, louder and clearer. The footsteps seemed to draw nearer, and the clicking noise grew more distinct, almost rhythmic. Despite his rising anxiety, Dave resisted the urge to move again. Something inside told him that it was best to ignore it, to not give in to the eerie sensation creeping over him. He remained seated, focusing on keeping the incense burning, pretending the noises did not exist until the first light of dawn finally broke and the disturbance ceased. The following night, it was Dave's brother-in-law's turn to keep watch. Initially, his wife stayed with him, but she left around midnight, leaving him alone in the silent void deck. Dave hadn't mentioned his experience from the previous night. There seemed no reason to share something that could easily be dismissed as imagination.
True.
Yet, the next morning, he could tell that his brother-in-law was not his usual self.
You experienced something
He seemed
also.
distracted,
Yeah.
as if something was on his mind. Later that day, his brother-in-law hesitantly recounted what had happened. He had been sitting quietly after his wife went upstairs to rest, ensuring that the incense continued to burn, when he noticed a distinct scent,
Frangipani.
one that sent a chill down his spine. Frangipani.
I knew it. I knew it.
The fragrance was strong and unmistakable, just like what Dave had smelled the night before. He thought perhaps someone had bought flowers, but
They
there was
smell like
no one else
frangipani.
around. That's when he saw it. I
Rubbish.
didn't want to look directly at it, he said, his voice shaking slightly. But there was this figure, a white shape, moving back and forth near the coffin. It wasn't clear, but I could see from the corner of my eye. It just kept pacing, like he was waiting for something or someone. As if that wasn't unsettling enough, he witnessed something that made his heart race. A black cat, which seemed to appear out of nowhere, silently approaching the coffin. It crept closer, eyes fixed on the casket, as if considering making the leap. Dave's brother-in-law watched, his breath caught in his throat. But at the last moment, the cat turned and slipped away into the shadows without jumping over the coffin.
Oh, fucking curse, I swear at the cat.
A wave of relief washed over him, knowing what could have happened if he had crossed over. Dave listened, feeling a shiver run down his spine. His brother-in-law's account matched the very spot where he had heard the footsteps the night before. The two hadn't discussed their experiences, yet there was a strange, unsettling connection between them. His brother-in-law had seen what had Dave only heard, and now there was the troubling presence of the black cat. Neither of them felt terrified, but there was a shared sense of discomfort, a feeling that something wasn't right. As is common in Singaporean folklore, the scent of frangipani, the sight of a white figure, and even the presence of a black cat brought mind stories of the P word, a vengeful female spirit often said to linger near cemeteries and forested areas.
The moment you tell me frangipani, I know this thing shall go mention one. I knew it,
Dunno.
bro. It's literally a trademark.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Sure.
trademark. You smell like some people say you walk in like at the road where you walk right, then you smell this thing right. Just fucking pretend you don't
But
smell
how
it.
you know frangipani smell like what?
Like not she's like two. I think I forgot what's the exact description, but it's wait, let me just Google it. Where's my phone?
Okay, but I'll continue the story first. Although Pongo, being a newly developed estate, was known for paranormal sightings, it made them wonder, could spirits be drawn to the solemnity of a wake, regardless of the location? The isolated, undeveloped nature of the area only added to the feeling of unease. Perhaps it was a restless soul, paying its respect. Or maybe it was something else entirely. It was easy to dismiss their experiences as a mix of imagination and atmosphere, yet they couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to it. Dave and his brother-in-law decided to keep these experiences to themselves, not wishing to stir unnecessary fear among the family. But privately, they wondered if anyone else in the area had witnessed similar things, had others seen the white figure, or smelled the frangipani scent. As they left the void deck that morning, they cast one last look at the now empty space where the wake had been. The thought lingered. What if it was the P word, or perhaps another spirit drawn to solemnity on the occasion? It was a mystery that would remain unsolved, but one thing for certain, Dave and his brother-in-law would not forget the unsettling experience of the funeral wake anytime soon. That was the story. So yeah, it's not scary, but
Yeah, it's something that is totally okay like it's something that is totally possible. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the hell frangipani is supposed to smell like.
So Gemini says that it's a sweet scent. You first smell an intense, sickly sweet fragrance of the frangipani or jasmine. Now this is used to lure the victims, usually men, towards
God.
the thing that should not be named.
Uh-huh.
As she often disguises herself as a beautiful woman.
Uh-huh.
But then there's a sudden shift. The legend warns that if the sweet smell suddenly turns into a foul, rotting stench,
Oh god.
like a decaying corpse, it means she is extremely close and about to attack.
I think it's just not friendship any. Anytime people say if you smell something, just don't say it out loud. Don't even think about it. Because that usually automatically means not just the P word, but
Anything.
So just don't say anything, don't think of anything.
Just hate empty, no thoughts.
Yeah, hate empty, no thoughts. So yeah, that was the last story.
There were 7 stories. Yes. Right.
Pick your favorite story.
My personal favorite one is the Gary one.
Same, that's my favorite
The
also.
Gary one.
I think cause like it's crafted so nicely, then like the ending is like similar. Like what the fuck? It's not something I would think, you know.
Yeah, you can check out all the stories lah. Most of them are from Reddit. Then the other one is which page called again?
Ghoststories.sg.
Yeah.
I'll try to put the links of all the stories onto the website so you guys can read it on your own as well. That's the end of today's session of the Shadow Archive.
Wee.
Yarr.
So if you have your own receipts, though, like any kind of like hometown legends or the bad vibe house.
Bad juju.
No. You like any type of bad vibe house you live in, or the weird thing you saw in your closet that your parents told you that it was just a quote, then send it to us.
So we created a Google form. Send your stories through that, and then tell us if you want to stay anonymous or if you want us to use your actual name. I'll put it in the Google form as well, but yeah, just letting you know. So we'll read it and we'll probably lose our minds over it again because yeah, crazy. Yeah, and of course we will definitely believe you, unless of course the story sounds like too good to be true. I feel like you know.
Yeah, there will be a skepticism in there.
Yeah, a bit of skepticism. Yeah.
But we'll definitely have fun reading it.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
for sure. So until next time, keep the lights on.
And help us stay awake. Bye.